Coming up on D&M Cast 1 year special.
Currency marketing engagement's gold. And the most vocal people on TikTok, especially in Melbourne, are people who don't like your content. So we kind of said if we can use that to our advantage and just keep pissing these people off. Like
at one point, there was only 2 D&M members. So that can set the tone of this episode. I think of one of the weeks, there was only 2 members.
Yeah.
Luke is like a very nice guy, but you just do silly things. And then you sometimes aren't a very nice guy.
Welcome back to D&M Cast, episode 48. This is one we've had probably circled in our calendar for a long time. This is the 1 year of D&M. So
the official 1 year.
It's 1 year on Friday. So when this comes out, it'll be over a year. So yeah, wow. That's
good. Have you learned anything in 1 year?
Plenty, which we'll go into today. So I think today there's so much stuff that has happened, and I think so many issues that arise when you go into like business with your friends. I'm sure Benny, Aiden, you can confirm that. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, there's so many things that we haven't really publicized that we're going to probably go into today, and some things we'll shed light on, and just general reflection and some funny stories that we've had along the way, because it's pretty entertaining doing things on such a public scale.
At one point, there was only 2 D&M members. So that can set the tone of this episode. I think of one of the weeks, there was only 2 members.
Yeah, I think someone was zoned out of the D&M cast.
Yeah.
And,
we'll go into it today. Anyway,
both of us like, ooh, juicy.
So where do we want to start with this?
So yeah, there was only 2 members at one point. Guess who it was? Diezel cracked it and left.
No, it wasn't me. It was Tommy Rowland. Timmy has an alter ego, Timmy, and that side really came out. One
He's
week.
An aggressive fan.
I remember talking to Luke, and it was going through like a rough stage where like we're like, what the fuck? Like we're probably not pulling our weights, and like Tommy obviously has. It's like sometimes it's either his way or the highway. Like true, not true.
Very true.
Yeah,
his way or the highway. And there was one week where Tommy was just fed up because like it was really good. Like we were like loving life, and then all of a sudden it was just bang.
Yeah, because I was doing everything.
Tom had his episode. Timmy came out.
I think it was a point in time where we were still learning how all of us click in a way of like more of a professional setting. Because at the start it was more of like, you could say hobby and just seeing where things go, and then it kind of started to turn into more business. And then as soon as it turned to more business, we're learning how each of us kind of like intertwine and how we work. Like I'm very messy, unstructured, but I'll get it done. Where Tom's very much structured and loves.
Making it sound like I've got fucking bipolar. What would set this off?
But at the time it sounded like
what would set it off was like, so basically the way we had it structured was I would do like all the editing, all the socials, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Luke was responsible for booking the studio,
yeah,
and then finding guests if we had Diezel's partnerships or some shit.
Yeah,
and then we would get to like Monday the week of, and we at an old studio and we had to book it. And it got to Monday morning, Luke had like booked the studio. He had one job the whole week before.
That was frustrating.
Are you fucking serious? Like,
yeah.
It was at the time I was doing like 10 hours a week of D&M, and Luke can't do 20 minutes to the fucking studio.
Yeah. I think like it's very hard to find like 3 people to like have the same goal. You know what I mean? 3 people to like have the same drive and stuff. And then it took us a while for us to all like get on board and actually commit.
I think it was just the transition from a hobby and just doing a podcast and getting a few TikTok views to then turning it more into business, and then navigating it from a friendship to a business friendship.
Like, and I think it's also hard. Like obviously the main job of this is to edit, cut, post and all that. Yeah. And it's like when someone like does it for a job and wants to do it, which was Tom, like finding like different like jobs for us, which was easy, obviously finding a studio, which sometimes you like couldn't do.
Well, we made a rule as well. I remember we made a rule like, because Luke loves to go out and party, obviously.
Yeah.
And that was obviously getting in the way because he'd be hungover till Wednesday, then just fucking not want to do anything till the next Friday.
Yeah.
And then we made a rule saying, Luke, like you have to book the studio before you think about going out on the Friday night or the Saturday night. Yes. And then it gets to the Monday morning after he's had a fucking bender. I'm like, dude, like,
But to be fair, every time I went out, I brought some crazy connections into the D&M.
That's true. It's true.
We were weighing it up between Luke going out, bringing connections, bringing guests.
Because we'd be like, what the fuck, Luke? Like, book the studio. And then you'd be like, oh, we got Tay Reid coming. I'm like, so okay.
Could be
so
bad
like,
but yeah, so I think at one point there was only 2 of us, but I think we resolved it.
No, at the time, for context to that, it was a couple weeks, I think, after that I was, this is a funny story. when we were in Thailand, one of our episodes like hit top 5 in Australia and New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was like huge. Like that's like something that like happens. Like any podcast is like lucky to get in the top 200, let alone top 5. So we were fucking.
Give a perspective. It was Joe Rogan #1,
and then it was like Hamish and Andy.
Yeah.
And then a couple other pretty high profile podcasts.
and I think
then
Joe Rogan was then at #6 as well, and we were
Yeah.
somehow in between like 2 of his episodes, which is crazy.
which was fucking. Like, and that was an opportunity that was like fuck, like sponsors wise, like if we can like pitch that. So I, at this point, I get home and I go to Noosa, and I'm like, all right, I'll keep doing all the editing. We had episodes backed up to post. I'll edit all those, post those. You two just find a fucking sponsor. It won't be hard. A week and a half later, we're off the charts again. I'm like, all right, how we go? They're like, oh, I forgot. I forgot. I'm like, what the fuck? We had like a week, and you guys just partied the whole week.
That was actually a good week.
That was a good week.
That was so good. But yeah, like pulling our heads in, I think now we're somewhat okay.
It's also, I reckon it was also called like the honeymoon stage of like.
You reckon? I think we were just enjoying it too
Yeah.
much and like.
Yeah, you're reaping the benefits instead of like getting back to work. And
Yeah,
wanting more.
exactly. Like,
Which is like, that's what I'm
We
doing.
got-
Instead of reaping the benefits, you just track down and say, I can get better than this.
well, realistically, like you go from normal people, which we still are normal people, but you go from normal people having a podcast to then having these people on, and then you go out and you're not used to people coming up to you, and then you're just like, I'm just a normal guy. Why are you coming up to me? And then you just like, you kind of get a little ego, and then after a
100%.
while, you get humbled down a little bit, and you get a girlfriend, and she tells you that you're an idiot.
Talk
and-
about a girlfriend. Is there a particular girl in this room right
Yeah.
now?
We'll bring on after we get through the.
Okay.
She can come sit next to Diezel for a bit.
Yeah.
And then
Well, we can do-
there's one episode you guys can go find it yourself. I don't remember what it was, where I just didn't talk the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
I was
That-
because I was zoned out. Like, I was convinced I was like, fuck this. Because at the time I was getting like a flow and effect of all like the top 5 shit.
Yeah.
I think people started to figure out who like I was doing like all the socials and shit.
Mm.
And then I was getting like calls and like messages from other people with established podcasts saying, "Do you want to come on board, work for our podcast?" And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like at the moment, that sounds a
Yeah.
lot more fucking appealing.
Well, I found it hard. Like, it's so hard, like, with sponsorships, sending out sponsorships and actually pitching an idea to people where it's like it's so, like, I think I sent out one week, like 50 to 100 emails, and then like no one came back. And then you're just like, fuck, is what I said wrong? Or are they just not looking for
It's
people?
just tough. Sponsorships can be tough. Like if a brand wants you, they'll have you on so quickly, but it's hard to convince someone, otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was that one episode where we just did not speak, and I remember sitting there thinking like, fuck, like where are we going to go from here?
Yeah.
Because like we did a whole episode, did not speak like a single word, and we had no idea that
Yeah.
Tom wasn't going to speak. Like
We were like, after that episode, I was like, nah, fuck this. Like,
Yeah.
I kid you not, I was like I said to Tyler, I'm like, nah, I'm leaving. Like, this is shit. Like,
Yeah.
I think we've all had our like times where we're like, nah, like we're done.
yeah.
But like you'd always speak to like Luke or Tom, and then one of them would just be like, look, just pull your head in, we'll be fine. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. We're also very dramatic sometimes. Certain things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, did you want to like launch into how we met? I feel like this is like a little background. So like leading into the 1 year of D&M, how we all met. Like it's kind of a funny story how me and you met.
Not really.
Well, it kind of is.
Go.
So me and Diezel, we both played footy. Growing up, we were in
Good
Stingrays.
shit. Get to the good shit.
Me and Diezel shared a passion for two mans.
No, I've never. Like back in the, I'm looking like at Tyler this whole conversation.
Yeah, his girlfriend's off camera. Diesel's
Girlfriend's
off
looking
camera.
at me. She's
But yeah,
like,
we shared a passion for two mans, and we loved to go on dates with girls.
well, obviously, like you're young, you don't have a girlfriend yet, and
We were we were 14 at the time. Let's put that.
We were
were
children.
We were children. We were 14 at
guys,
the time.
next topic.
But I wanted to reminisce about our friendship. Me and Diezel actually had a business called Whipped.
Yes.
I was very much not
wow.
involved because I was scared. But
Yes.
we used to make videos of like in public. I don't think I ever made an appearance in one.
You
but we had a
didn't, no.
YouTube. We had a YouTube channel where we would like harass people in public.
We had a YouTube video account, and one of my friends used to be like a streamer in Melbourne. He's Riley,
Yeah,
was, and he had like 10k like subs on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we used his, I think it was his account, and it had 10k subs, and like it was popping off. Like if we committed to that,
yeah.
that would have been like huge. But it was like a bunch of kids going fucking around, and it got like 26,000 views when we
Yeah.
posted the video. I don't know if it's out still.
This was early days. This was like early TikTok days as well.
Yeah.
Like, no one was on TikTok
Yeah.
back then, so no one had like even like seen anyone make content like that. So it would have been crazy. But
That popped off.
we would have been so rogue. Like
Yeah.
holy shit. That
Yeah,
would've been-
100%.
that would've
Like
been
Riley got
crazy.
on a rock and screamed out in front of like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
My sister's pregnant. People started clapping, and then he's like, "I'm gonna be a dad." Like, it was fucking funny as we'd go up to people like on the roads, and I'd sit next to like a girl or whatever, and just be like, "How you going? How you going?" Like, just chatting to. It was weird.
Yeah.
Normal Diezel behavior.
I wish, looking back, I wish we like fully sent that, only because like what I know now.
Yeah.
But I remember I was so scared of like footy and stuff.
Yeah.
Because back then that's when I was very very strict. Like I never drank, like always at the gym.
You didn't drink till you're 18.
Didn't drink until I was
Neither did
18.
actually.
Oh, really?
That's how I got my car.
Really?
My parents gave it to me here because I didn't drink.
'Cause you
till I was
didn't
18. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I remember the first time you invited me over. Like I think I remember a message being like, "Wait, come to mine. I'm getting girls over." I was like,
Did I say that?
I think so. Yeah.
No.
Shit.
Is this like exposed Diezel because his girlfriend's in the back?
I was like,
I was
fuck,
14 at the time. I didn't know Tyler.
Not an
then.
excuse. Tyler smacking.
fuck yeah. I actually remember when you guys first started talking.
Yes.
It was your birthday party.
Yeah.
And your dad rocked up on a motorbike in a priest outfit
Was that the party
to
that?
piss off your mum.
Oh my god, man, that was fucked.
How crazy
That
is
was
that?
fucked. That was embarrassing.
Tom, how crazy is that? It was his 16th birthday.
Yeah.
All his friends there. Diezel thinks, pretty cool. When you're 16, you got a bit of ego. And his dad thought it'd be funny.
Dad's
to pull up.
playing prayer music on his. He's duct taped this huge speaker to the front of his motorbike.
JBL huge speaker.
And rocked up with a priest outfit and a cross. You know that priest outfit
Yeah.
out there?
Yeah.
That was his.
And he rocks up revving the engine. Everyone's like, "What the fuck? Whose dad
Yeah.
is this?" And Diesel's like, "No, Dad, no, please." Like, Dad, well, all right. And I think there was a bit of beef between your mum and dad for that one.
Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, that's me and Diesel's shared passion for two mans.
Yeah.
With his
Luke and
girlfriend
Tom,
in
how did you just meet?
We met through footy. We played for Coburg, but we just like we were just footy friends. Like we didn't really talk. We just like followed each other on Instagram. That was like.
Do you remember like meeting each other for the first time?
No, I have no idea.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And then one time I had a fall. I was going to BTV, but unfortunately my ticket was being withheld from me.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go to BTV. I was like, I'm not going to buy another $500 ticket. I was like completely broke at the time. And Tom calls me and goes, "Yo, I'm going to BTV. Do you have a car pass?" I was like, "All right, fuck it. I'll go with you." And then just like bought another ticket on the spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think the day before, you decided to go to BTV.
Yeah, no, it was the day before. I think because I went for a surf down the thing, so we went for 3 days that day. So the first day, I went for a surf down the coast, and I saw the cars with the BTV like packing, and you can just see like everyone's going to BTV. I got so much FOMO.
Yeah.
So like that was like fuck. Like you saw like thousands of cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that looks so much fun. Let's go. I'm gonna go. Bought a ticket the day before, and yeah, Luke ended up coming with all my mates.
Were you like, shit, like my mate's coming?
No, well, I needed someone to go with as well, I think, because I was going last minute. I was going to go with a couple of mates who'd booked like a long time before. So I was either going to be in a tent by myself or like, and then Luke ended up coming. So we just shared a tent, shared
You know what's
everything.
funny? Like if you never did that, we'd probably never be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. What's that butterfly effect? Oh.
Invisible string or something.
Yeah, that BTV was so much fun. That was
that was
so much.
That was insane. But yeah, I remember vividly being in the gym. Tom calling me like, "Hey, do you have a car pass?" And I was like, "Can I come to BTV with you?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck it, all right, why not?"
Yeah.
And then we like literally like that night, I think I went straight home from the gym, packed my stuff, and like 2 hours later, I was at Tom's house and was staying the night at someone's house.
Yes.
And I was like, that was crazy because I was very like out of character for me in the sense that I don't go out, don't really party, and I was like at some festival in like 2 seconds. But yeah, that was probably the funnest time I've ever had, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah, that was just
because you were
insane.
like no one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think we've touched on this before. It's like we took it for granted because Luke and I got fucked like off a vodka.
Yeah.
And we started like climbing trees and shit. Like we're just like doing.
You're at a festival with thousands of
video of me,
people,
like-
but then you climb trees.
and then, we're climbing trees, we're jumping fences into premium, getting away with it.
Yeah.
And then imagine we did that this year, like what the fucking commotion would be on TikTok if we got caught climbing a tree fucked up.
Yeah.
I think there's like one video. I think one of my friends like when like the few days after I like once you got the internet back, I was like scrolling through my like Snapchats ever sent me, and there's a video of being like, "Are you at a tree right now?" It was me and Tom like screaming out to people at a tree. Like,
Looping it back to the relevance of BTV, I think on the Luke and I like while we were there saw like all the influencers and shit, like how like carefree they almost were. And like I think on the drive home we're like, fuck it, let's try to get free BTV tickets next year, which is like a pretty fucking unrealistic goal in a year to go from nothing, which we had no social following, to fucking free BTV tickets, and we did it in like 6 months. So
yeah, I remember it was when Olivia Taranto and Mercedes, they were like absolutely popping off on TikTok, like making TikToks together.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw them at BTV, and like obviously
Is that how you met?
No, I didn't. I just like knew of her from TikTok, and because I was from Berwick, I've never ever like seen cool people or people from TikTok like out and about, because I just like didn't really go out, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like I know I've seen those people from TikTok, and then all of a sudden we were like, fuck, they like people were like coming up to them, taking photos of them, and I was like, fuck, like, that would be sick as if like we could do that. And then me and Tom were on the way home being like, let's get free BTV tickets next year. Like I don't know how we're gonna do it or what we're gonna do, but like I know we're gonna get free BTV tickets next year. Yeah. And it came to fruition. We ended up getting
free so we'll go into the journey. We'll go as chronologically as we can.
Yeah.
I think we took like BTV's obviously like wraps up early January. We didn't start like posting anything until like March, I don't think. And we remember. All right, this is a funny story. The first video that Luke and I made in our quest to start a podcast was we're sitting in a car and we're reviewing each other's talking stages.
Yeah.
Like I'd show him a photo and we go, oh yeah, she's blah, blah, blah. And it was so bad. I've still got it in my private videos on TikTok.
We could not post that now.
If we posted that now, it'd be game over. Like we were saying there's like a line of things you can say and can't say it. We were fucking step over the line.
Yeah. Someone would have those videos.
Maybe. I don't know. Obviously, when you do that kind of stuff, it gets a bit of extra attention, and that's how we kind of popped off. And we knew what we were doing. Like, we were adding mayo, saying some things that we knew would get attention. It was just probably not the right way to do it. And then that was a series of videos we did in the car.
Even I was gonna a notable thing was before that series started, we were in the car and we said we got to start something. I think a few days later, me and Tom started a clothing brand called Aspera or something.
No, that was you and Toddy. We did Els to you.
That's
that was some shit.
Did you make stuff?
No, we did. We had a couple samples.
Yeah.
D&M just took full over.
It was called L's to you, and if you've ever seen in old videos where we stick up the L, that's because that was that brand. So.
Yeah, we were sticking up the L in all the BTV photos. And
people still come up to us with like, like yeah, fuck. But yeah, and then it went to videos of us. You take over videos of us in the car.
Yeah, and then we, I think pretty quickly everyone was kind of obviously when you're talking face to camera, the number one thing that it reminds people of is a podcast, and that was like kind of our goal. We wanted to mirror a podcast in the car. We just didn't want to commit to it fully without like a somewhat of a following. So we built like a fucking 30-person following where we were had 30 people behind us backing us for a podcast. And then I remember we bought Diezel in, definitely necessary.
Yes.
More than necessary. It wouldn't be here if just me and Luke. No way.
No.
Well, thanks, guys.
I think that the thing is like you need different personalities to make a full, right? And Diezel brings that spark, that charm, that funniness, and people relate to you. Like you bring that, which like kind of glues everything together.
Yeah.
You know,
and obviously I think everyone has their favorites, like of us.
Exactly.
Like some people watch for Diezel, probably some people watch for you, some people watch for me. It's like it's very deliberate as well. Like we are aware that we're like we talk different ways, we talk about different things in certain ways. We just need those elements to kind of make what D&M is.
Yeah. You got to think when there's 3 people, someone like. You got to have like fans or like people watching. They've got to have someone that they like. They've got to have someone they're on the fence about.
Yeah.
They've got like that's just how like
there's got to be a villain and there's got to be a hero.
That's
in,
it.
Every story. So and it like drags each way and it kind of like gets dramatized. Depends on what the story is. But yeah. But back to what we were saying. What were we doing? We brought Diezel in.
Yeah.
And then we rented out the podcast studio, which we were at most of the year so far. And we didn't have a script. We didn't have anything. We weren't gonna record an episode. We were just gonna spam clips, and we were gonna tell a story that we knew would piss people off. And post them on TikTok, and that's what we did.
Coincidentally, we had a particular story.
Yeah, it was your Barley story, and then Diezel's coin story. And yeah, all those clips where we went from an episode, everyone was really confused about like what we were talking about in the episode to bring up all these different stories. But it wasn't from an episode. We just wanted to market like a potential podcast. We hadn't got anything locked in. We just had an
I think we were just
account.
testing the waters to see how it'd go.
And we just wanted clips to like post and just piss people off.
Yeah.
And we knew what we were doing. It might not look like it. Like we knew what we were doing. We wanted to fucking rage bait people, and it was the most effective marketing strategy. I don't think there will be another story like D&M in the sense of like rage baiting people. I think we kind of are the one and only because no one's gonna fall for that shit again. The way we did it, we kind of like pissed people off early and then flipped it to where it's like now we've got like a bunch of loyal supporters,
which we love so much.
But it's really hard to do that. Like you see a lot of those podcasts on YouTube or like on TikTok, their whole brand's now pissing people off. They're talking about dumb shit, whereas like we could kind of flip the switch.
Well, notably, I've never seen anyone that like, first of all, how many like male influencers in our field are there? Not many that have started from just a podcast.
Yeah, that's what. So, starting a media outlet like a podcast without a social following or prior influence is fucking borderline impossible. Like,
it's so hard.
Convincing, not even for us. Just like we kind of like had this unique marketing strategy where rage bait plus like genuine serious conversations like mixed together, and then it came D&M. But yeah, we didn't realize that at the time, but we were so delusionally confident in ourselves where it's like it's borderline impossible. Like how many other success stories you've seen from people who started with a podcast?
I almost like look back and think, how the fuck like have I come here and how have we come here? You know what I mean? Like
Crazy.
But yeah, we'll go back to we had the clips posted. We hit like 1,000 followers on TikTok in like 3 days.
That was crazy, yeah.
Because of the Bali story.
I remember one moment. I was working at Nike and I was seeing that, and that's when we officially made the post of like me and you collabing on a post being like, we're starting a D&M. Everyone was like coming at me like, are you starting a podcast? Like, no way, that sucks. Like from that moment, like we already had so much people like talking about it. And I think we had like 200 likes. I was like, this is crazy, bro. Like this is nuts. Like no way. Like
I remember watching, I was at the footy, I was injured, I couldn't play, but I was watching my footy team play. I'd posted the Bali story like 2 hours before.
Yeah.
I checked my phone up for like after 2 hours, it's on like 150k with like 10,000 likes. I'm like, I call Luke, I'm like, holy fuck, like what's
crazy,
going on? And we were gaining followers as well.
I remember also I used to live in Berwick, and my favorite place to go was the Espy, but you'd always have to drive like an hour there and then go back like an hour. So like I never got to stay late. Like I'd leave at like 11 and whatever. I don't know why I thought it was so fun. It was just a place that we'd always went. And I think at this time I moved out to Elwood, my place. And I remember walking into Espy for the first time, and everyone was like looking at me, and I was like, this is crazy.
I'd
like,
love to say this story from my perspective.
Yeah, you say it from your perspective.
So we were like, let's go out. Every Saturday we'd be like, yeah, like let's go. But this was like the first times like after we posted those videos, and we're like, let's go to the Espy. And like the Espy at the time was like really, really good. It was like popping off. And we were going, and all of a sudden someone comes up and is like, oh my God, the podcast boys, Luke, Bailey, like, how's Bali, blah, blah, blah. And that was, I remember that first moment, like I was just like, what?
Yeah, that was,
I was like, are you kidding me?
I think it was like the Melbourne relevance, like how obviously videos exploded in Melbourne. And then it was just like a snowball effect from there, but we'll stay chronological.
Yeah.
So then we were like, fuck, okay, we've got 1,000 followers on TikTok, 500 followers on Instagram. People are wanting an episode next week. What the fuck do we talk about? I remember we wrote this script. It was so fucking shit. I saw it the other day. It was like song of the week,
Food of the week.
I was like, and then it was just like, oh, like we had some other shitty segments that were just not gonna fly, and it was so weak. We thought it was great at the time. Like we knew it was like not that strong.
Us writing being like, oh, this is it, bro. This is it. Like,
but yeah, obviously if we didn't have the ending that we had, it would have been a shit like first episode. But then the day before, Luke and I had a photo shoot.
some uni project.
Then we're sitting at Chadston shopping centre eating lunch, and we at Sam, massive shout out. We couldn't speak more highly of her and her character. She'd been supporting us from our like car videos or like our TikTok lives we were doing. And another thing, remind me to go back to you. We were paying for the podcast at the start through money from TikTok Live.
Yeah.
Like we were like, that's how we would pay for the podcast.
I had no money. That's all I had to do. Like that's all I could do was like, that's why I was on TikTok Live so much, was because I would get money from it.
But anyway, I'm seeing the food court. I just had an idea, like what if we got like a massive fucking guest? And like first I named that Sam was extremely relevant at the time. She still is. Because of all the like drama shit going on. And we said, because we already messaged her and shit, I said to Luke, I'm going to write this message. You send it to Sam. And let's just have a Hail Mary. Yeah. I write up this message saying, like, it would be great if you could come on. We'd love it. And then credit to her, like full credit. Like she, takes it, comes on. And then the rest is history. She gave us so much. Like she talked, usually when people go on podcasts, they hold back a little bit, but she did really well.
And she was teaching us like what to do.
Yeah,
like,
remember we were like, this is we were it was our first time ever recording like a full episode, because a week before we'd just done clips.
And Tom was like, hey guys, this is D&M cast.
And she's like, no.
Like, redo that shit. Like, she's like, usually
no one knew what to say. We'll just
we were just like, this is our fucking first time. But anyway,
goes, usually we do the intro at the end, because all the energy's up.
And then remember we started all the episodes after that with what the fuck is up, guys? And then we had a meeting with like a potential manager. And she's like, look, if you guys are going to take this any further, you're going to have to drop the what the fuck is up. Don't start it with the swear.
The fuck you doing?
Don't start it with a swear word. But and then obviously, from there, I think it was just kind of, we took it as it went, and D&M grew and grew and grew. We got Aiden in the back there on the potty.
My God.
Diezel didn't say a single word that episode.
With Sam.
Yeah. Because we didn't know what to say. I remember we would charm in like, oh yeah,
Well, like at
You
the
sit
time,
back
I
down
was
your
like,
chair.
I'm just a regular guy, and I'm like, holy fuck, Sam Guggenheim. I think the week before, I was just watching her TikToks just randomly because it's Sam.
But yeah, I think for that one, I was just like, fuck, the journalism here is gonna have to come out. I'm lucky enough to have two journalist parents, so I kind of got them to help me write some questions, and don't think I used them. I think I just asked them in my own way, but that's how it started.
Do we actually want a notable mention? I think it would be in this chronological order is what was our original podcast name going to be called?
Oh yeah, this is a good clip. Originally, when Luke and I were going to start the podcast, Diezel wasn't involved yet. We had this great name. D&M was originally going to be called Band Mail Podcast, so BMP Cast.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking stupid idea. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea. I think we just kind of wanted to be funny. In hindsight, it's not funny, but yeah, we wanted to take the piss out of that Band Mail Podcast trend and just kind of like capitalize on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank fucking God we didn't
very,
do that.
very honourable mention for that that we didn't.
Yeah, D&M almost was BMP.
Yeah. And that's where
Band Mail Podcast.
That's where Diezel came in and saved the day. And
Diezel and Meaningful.
Yeah.
Diezel. Yeah, why does everyone say that still? Everyone comes up to me, he's like, is it actually Diezel and Meaningful?
It is. It's Diezel and Meaningful.
Diezel and Meaningful.
That's it.
So along the way, we've kind of had mixed reviews. Obviously, I think everyone's very familiar with the fact we were flooded with hate very early on, and we're aware of our, I guess, intention to spark that. I think we kind of brought it on ourselves at the start. But that being said, it was pretty intense, and no one really knows how to deal with it. And I think apart from random people, the opinions of our friends, and I guess people we're not friends with but know of, and how they changed and adjusted as the time went on. So I think early on, everyone was trying to like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, this is in the last 3 months. And then, as it's gotten more serious, I think a lot of my friends especially have got a lot more acclimatized to it. And I think accepting...
I'm not gonna lie, I lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like, to be fair, my way, I wasn't friends with a lot of people who would fucking hate on me anyway. Like, I keep it a pretty tight circle, and if they were, then fuck them. Like, I don't really care. But
I remember like particular moments. The way that Melbourne culture is, trying something new, people will hate on you. That's just how it is. Like, that's just the baseline. Like, the way that males interact with each other is in a group setting. They take the piss out of someone for a laugh, and that's their enjoyment, and that's how they engage and communicate and connect with people, by taking the piss out of other people.
But then really, I think one-on-one, they'd just be normal.
Exactly. One-on-one, they're normal.
And we knew kind of like that haters, obviously. So when it comes to marketing 101, this is what I learned in my internship. Currency of marketing, engagement's gold. So you want engagement. Views don't mean shit. It's engagement that's going to get like the brand deals. It's engagement that's going to push your shit out further. And the most vocal people on TikTok, especially in Melbourne, are people who don't like your content. So we kind of said if we can use that to our advantage and just keep pissing these people off, like it was just, that's who we target. That's who we go after. We tell stories that are kind of targeting things that they don't like, talking about things that they don't like. Like we're fully aware of that. And I think what big thing for us was like, you can't change the fact that people are going to judge you, especially in Melbourne, but you can use it to your advantage. And I think we can say pretty confidently we use that pretty well to our advantage. We roped them in, made them hate, flipped it, and the rest is history.
You need people with like very strong emotions, either love you or hate you, and that's where you get it. Because if, say for example, when you like something, you'll be scrolling your phone and you go, oh, that's a good piece of content. You won't comment, you won't share it, you won't you will just leave it and you go like, that's cool, and you keep going. Whereas if there's something that you hate, you will like it, you will share it, you will save it. So you have so much more engagement for someone hating than they do love, because people show their support for hate.
They comment, they'll send it, they'll like comment tagging some of their friends, they'll send it to 2 or 3 of their friends, bang, comment, share. They'll probably won't like it. They might save it their favorites because they want to go back and hate more. Yeah. And it's like, that's like what, 15 engagement points right there. It's I think
at like some stage we had like more shares than comments and all
that. Exactly. But shares are more valuable. People don't realize shares are more valuable than a like or a comment. Like sharing is the most valuable form of engagement under a repost, obviously.
And I think during that like hate stage, I was very keen to just like kind of lean into the hate and lean into the rage bait. And I know you guys were a bit more on the fence, like, fuck, like this guy's doing thirst traps, this guy's doing this, and obviously it even gained us even more hate, which in turn gave us more traction.
I think we just like we knew we wanted to flip it, but we didn't want to do like the rage bait thing forever. We knew we wanted to try flip it, and then we were trying to flip it, and then Luke was still posting these fucking half naked thirst traps. Like, fuck, mate.
Yeah, and that's where we were also on the fence. And I think there was like a bit of dispute about like the content that we were posting, and Tom was like saying, "Fuck, like we don't want to do this," and I'm like,
and I think
let's just keep like running with this.
That also played a part maybe in why Tom wanted to leave. Not leave, but like left for that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, well, no, I think that was like when we got D&M, and D&M was struggling at that, but not struggling, it was just like slow patch.
Yeah, because we started
especially
off
with
strong.
engagement. Yeah, we were in one of our like engagement dips, and then like we say, all right, we need to do a podcast week. I need you guys doing like whatever you need to do to like market this podcast or like get whatever we can, and then like Luke can't book. It was like Luke not being able to book the studio or like some shit, but he can post 5 TikToks on his personal per week, and then also get out a YouTube vlog. I'm like, dude, where the fuck are your priorities at? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. So yeah, that's obviously like trying to balance the priorities in the business. Yeah,
which is hard. I think a big thing is that people always say it's hard to navigate friendships and business, and it is so true, because your friendship becomes a little bit more nasty because in friendships you dilly-dally around certain like topics, like because your friends you just like kind of like agree with things, whereas friendship you're cutthroat is one way or the other way. So the way you communicate is probably a lot more mean, or not mean, but just straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? So like someone will call you and be like, we need to do this, and then you'll have another chat about something else, and that person doesn't want to have a chat about something else, and it's like you're literally just talking about business, and then the friendship kind of like starts to drift away a little bit. And I think we spent so much time together. I think we're spending almost every single day together.
Every day we're like together.
Every single day we're posting a TikTok. Every single day we'll talk about the podcast.
I was staying at your house like 5 days a week.
Exactly. So then I think everyone kind of just got like a little bit sick of each other, to the point where we were like just wanted to like make videos on our own and not worry about like the podcast, because that's all we're talking about, all we're thinking about. And I think that's where we kind of all kind of like pushed in different ways, and every single one of us like one different ways. I don't know if you were a bit more just enjoying it, like a bit more of a hobby, and then Tom wanted like business out of it, and we were like trying to navigate how to push that, like all three of that together.
I think if there's one thing that there's a common theme I guess we're talking about, and like something we keep going back to, it's that we did it our own way. And I think if you're going to take one thing from this episode, whether it be in a podcast, fucking music, YouTube videos, whatever you're going to do with like whatever you want to do, whatever dreams you have, do it your own way. And if you scroll back down to like the very bottom of D&M's Instagram feed, the graphics, the video editing, everything is like so much worse than it was, because like we didn't buy a fucking podcast course. We didn't like hire anyone to do it for us. We did it all ourselves. And as time went on, we kind of learned some tricks. We learned some design things, and like our skills got better. Our video editing skills got better. Photo editing skills got better. Design skills got better, and our like overall podcast got better. But we kind of just learned the hard way and didn't really waste our time trying to like copy anyone else. We did it our own way, and we still do things our own way. But that'll be my most valuable advice. If you want to try something new, don't buy a fucking course. I think invest the time into learning like off free resources or just like trial and error. But that's what we did for us. Like our graphics from the start. Remember the black string with like the shitty.
Yeah.
But then again, that was also like a funny, like having a switch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
that happened because our skills like got better.
Yeah.
And I think that would be our advice. If you want to take anything from this, do it your way. Don't try to copy anyone. Even still, like D&M clips, we've just started doing the Minecraft thing. Obviously, that's like copying like an idea, but before that, like the way we edited, we kept it engaging our clips without any brain rot, and that's tricks we still use and today, and we learn along the way. So if you want to try something new, just do it your way. Don't like waste money on these fucking courses and shit.
Yeah, like the biggest thing is you have to take that jump. So many people want to buy a course because they've seen someone else do it.
They think it's a shortcut. It's not a fucking shortcut.
They think it's a shortcut, and they've seen someone else do it and not have so people see the success story and they go, oh, I want to buy his course so I can just get straight to that success and jump all the judgment, jump all the fails, jump all the hardships. And that's what people want.
Yeah.
But there is no way around that. You can buy as many courses as you want. Like
you need to be successful. You need to go through like fail. You need to go through like loss. You need to go through everything. With the business, like with D&M, we went through the ringer, and like we're still not anywhere where we want to be, but it's like we're better than where we were a year ago. Obviously, like we're 20,000 combined followers up.
Yeah.
So, and we did it like all ourselves. We obviously had advice from people. How much of that we took on board was different story. I think we're pretty set on doing it our own way, and like even still, like we'll be pretty like arrogant in that sense and think like we'll just do it our way. We back ourselves in.
I remember like we had managers telling us to do stuff. We'd be like, absolutely fucking not. And you got to think this is like 6 weeks in and you have like someone professional in management telling you what to do, and you got 3 like young 20-year-olds being like, fuck no, I'm doing it my way. You got to think like that's absurd to even think about that. It's so easy for people to be shaped like that at that point.
At the time, like we had the manager saying, do this and do that, and we were like, fuck, let's do it. Like, let's do it. She knows. And then we'd do it, but then we'd lose some traction because we're going away from our actual brand.
Yeah. And
at the end of the day, it's like, trust your gut. You know your audience the best. And you just trust the talent at the end of the day, I think.
I'd also like to talk about, maybe we could talk about a little bit about what the future holds, how we've got like kind of like the dating show and how we want to expand D&M.
Yeah, obviously it's like we started a podcast not knowing anything like this would happen. And now it's transformed into like a full YouTube channel, like this whole like media empire where it's like we've got so many possibilities and ways we can go. We just still don't know what 100% what it'll look like in a year. But we've got an idea of where we want to go.
100%.
I think we'd love to keep the YouTube going. I think that's one of our like our shared passions, videos. Making those kind of videos. Obviously, they'll keep the podcast going as long as time goes. So
yeah. I think the podcast is always going to be there. You know, we're up to season 5, but say we have a few weeks off because someone goes on a dating show or someone goes on this show or someone's doing this business adventure. We can take a little bit of time off, do our own thing, and we'll always come back.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's something special. Having something that can continually go on throughout your life and keep, you know, it's like almost like a live journal of your life going on, which I think that's pretty special, that we'll be able to look back and we'll be able to remember certain moments in our life. And that's why I think we're now trying to be truthful to the audience in the sense of like what's actually happening in our lives, because this is like a live journal of what's happening. We want to be able to look back and be like, I was dating that girl at that time, or I did you know, spend money on I did spend money on that car I shouldn't have spent money on, but that's us being live. And I think maybe like from episode 20 to like 30 we were like just telling stories over and over again of being like, you should do this, you should do that, and now we're kind of like honing in back on this is what's happening in our life. Like, can't believe we did this on the weekend. And I think people enjoy our just being authentic way more than like trying to give out advice.
We're 21-year-olds and, you know, like...
Instead, we're giving it out in our way that we can, you know?
I think we've learned that like we can obviously say our opinion, but then obviously it doesn't matter to someone who may be listening. You can just take on board what you want.
Yeah.
And like 21-year-old telling a 23-year-old what to do, like doesn't sound right personally.
Yeah.
So I think we can offer our opinions in conversations, but then at the same time, we're just a voice trying to entertain you.
All right. We'll go into some of the, not like, I guess, major events. So I think this would be a good segue to bring Tyler in. Just give us a sec. Diezel,
no way.
What did you put on your story at one time? Wait, Tyler, come sit next to him while he tells his story.
Do you want...
Oh, sorry. Okay. Cut that.
Do you want to say that or not?
Yeah, Diezel posted, and right in like when D&M had a really good patch of momentum, Diezel decided to post an intimate photo of himself on his story by accident.
I remember, oh my God.
Main Instagram story was up for 5 minutes.
People have that screenshotted on their phones, like my close friends, and show me that photo.
We all had so many, our phones that blew up being like, did you see what Diezel
I was
posted?
like laying in bed doing work. And all my best mates, my group chat, like screenshot Diesel's story. Like, Tom, what the fuck is this? I thought it was a prank. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Check his story. I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you call me and then I realized?
Yeah, I was like,
for
dude.
5 minutes.
I called him. And he's like, yo. I'm like, dude, delete your fucking story. He goes, no, I didn't post anything. I said, no, check. And he wouldn't check. I'm like, no, check your story.
Yeah.
So I looked at it. I was on my phone and then I was on Instagram and then I just put my phone in my pocket because I was getting in the car, and my phone was in my pocket and it was still on and it was open in Instagram. Anyways, there may or may not been like a silly video that like Anyways, there was a photo also, and I was like, you know what? Like my back looks like kind of good. I'll take a screenshot. I took a screenshot. And it was like right next to this video that I had created.
Imagine that went up.
Oh my God. And imagine it went up. Like imagine. Anyways, it posted the video without my consent. And I should have sued Instagram because it was like, I don't even want to explain what it was, but
it was a very intimate photo of Diezel.
Very intimate photo of me. I looked good.
Anyway,
I remember I was talking to some of my friends. They were like, low-key, Diezel kind of slayed with that photo.
What about all right, next controversy was Luke Bailey's Twitter account. So I wake up one morning. And D&M's been tagged in a video. I go, what the fuck's this? So I open it and it's a stream recording of Twitter, the D&M Twitter, which we don't use. following this Luke Bailey account, and this Luke Bailey account is following like 6 porn accounts.
So it's okay. So this is gonna like really lead into this gooning thing that you've been making up. It's just really fucked. But I had like everyone knows what you use Twitter for.
Yeah.
It's just rogue.
I genuinely have never used Twitter in my life. I only
Twitter's-
watch Twitter for like horror like things.
Yeah, Twitter like is just like a rogue place. Anyone
Yeah.
can post absolutely anything, and all I used it for was like literally it was just porn. Like that's real. It was just porn, and like for some reason I like followed a bunch of accounts, and I was like, oh, it was a good account. It was a good account. Like I was following
And then
everything.
someone's fucking found that.
Luke had a porn addiction.
I didn't. I
Gooning.
never had
You had a porn
addiction.
addiction.
Well, everyone
I'm
thinks
trying
I'm
to avoid
everyone thinks I'm bullshitting on the gooning stuff, but
Yeah.
mate,
Okay, that's we talk about how we got to put mayo on stories. That's a mayo on a story. Anyway, I followed it, and some guy decided to screen record that and put that on. I was like,
Like
big-
that
big
guy's not
titties.
doing anything. Fucking, I'd love to see that guy's search history.
Oh, of course.
all right. So happy birthday, Tyler.
Thank you.
You're in the hot seat now.
Yeah.
This is our birthday present. You can
Yeah,
This
great
is
birthday present.
this is Diezel's girlfriend, lovely girlfriend of many years now. But yeah, so what are you doing today? What's on today? What's Diezel doing for
Oh, we
you?
don't know.
I know.
He knows. I
We're
don't
doing
know.
skydiving.
No, we're not.
Okay.
I'm scared for you, Tyler, for your birthday present.
Are you
Yeah, I think you're all trying to like mess with me.
No, we would never do that.
We would never do that.
Anyway, are you proud of your boyfriend on D&M?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
Now I am.
Now-
You used to do some silly things.
You even used to do some silly things.
Well, we weren't talking for a while.
Yeah. When you first started the podcast.
Yeah.
It
Diesel
was-
told a few
it was-
stories.
Yeah.
Naughty Diesel.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know. I want to get to the bottom of it. So, what are your intentions with my friend? I don't really get to see you. I just get to.
Yeah.
I hear second information, but
I only see you when you drop off my goods. So
Mention that.
yeah,
that.
I decided to make up that Tyler was a drug dealer. She's not, but like I thought it'd be funny.
Never done drugs before, but
No,
and he
anyway.
introduces me to all of his friends whenever I meet anyone new. Oh,
Not
this is
me,
my
Tom.
dealer.
Tom does.
Yes, Tom does. Every time you introduce me to someone.
I wonder how many girls you reckon you've met either talking to me or Luke throughout the whole.
I
fucking
know. I've met so many different girls. Like, oh, this is
majority Luke.
my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend.
Tyler would go out and we'd go out with her, and then we'd introduce someone to her, and then she'd like get to know him really well and like become really good friends with him, like on the night out, and then
And then I never see them again.
You'd ask, yeah.
Mate, time moves
like-
fast.
We like add each other on Instagram, like become besties, and then never. see
Time
them
moves
again.
fast. You know, some things don't last, and oh yeah,
I
She
was
actually
yeah.
knows how horrible you guys actually
horrible.
Yeah.
Not my fucking fault.
I know all the tea.
Yeah, you get all the
I
tea
get
of what's
all the
actually
tea,
happening. You
yeah.
get when I call Diesel, like Diesel, I fucked up or
Yeah.
something.
And I'm just in the background. I'm like,
yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on me and Tom?
what do you
The
mean?
Rizzlers.
Like, what are your like? You know, like to the audience, like
give your own opinion on
your
Luke
own
and
opinion
Tom.
on us.
Like give like genuine. Like what do you think of Luke?
Luke is like a very nice guy, but you just do silly things. And then you sometimes aren't a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're a nice guy, but sometimes you don't show it.
I think no. What she's trying to say is you have so much to show.
Yeah.
I just have so
I
much
think,
love
like,
to give.
yeah, deep down, like, you have such love to give, but you don't know how to give it.
There you go.
I think. I
There
think
you
that's
go.
what I mean.
And then, what are your thoughts on Tom?
Rizzler.
No. No.
Yeah.
Why did
No
I say
fucking
that?
behave, Diesel.
Tom,
I don't know.
just a silent sniper.
Yeah.
Silent sniper.
I don't really know what Tom's doing.
Yeah, good. That's the way
You
I
don't-
like
yeah,
it.
you don't really.
That's the way I like
Tom's a
it.
Say
secret
much.
assassin.
All I'd say is maybe he moves a little too fast.
Moves too
Me?
fast.
Excuse me? What are you trying to say?
Moves too fast.
Yeah.
do you
Moves
mean?
on too fast.
Moves on too fast.
Oh, moves on too
moves
fast.
Yeah.
on. Oh, I was like, what?
No, moves on.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, me and Tyler
you're
move
one of
real
the ones
quick.
where you're like, oh yeah, I've got a girlfriend, and then you'll have your girlfriend for like 2
No,
months. And
I
then
won't
you'll-
see you for like 2 months. Then like I've got a
Then
new
you've got a
girlfriend.
new
Then the
girlfriend.
next 2
Yeah.
months. Anyway,
Okay.
That's good.
sweet. Thanks
I'm
for
gonna
that.
go watch-
I think we'll wrap this up with, I guess, an overdue thank you. We probably should start it with one, but yeah, thank you guys so much for the support this year. I think the opportunity to turn our friendship into a business was something we are very, very grateful for, and the support, love shown despite all the hate, I think is something that definitely doesn't go unnoticed, and we'll be eternally grateful for. So
100%. This is the official 1 year of D&M, and once again, this is just onwards to bigger and better things, and we appreciate everyone joining on the journey and keep supporting us. So love you all.
We love you guys.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for 49, close to the 50.
Could you say your most notable catchphrase? Kiss the babies.
Oh, kiss the babies, hug the mums.
Whoa.
Oh, fuck.
Bye.